Hi, you're now watching Journey. I'm Sandy Laborde, your host, and today we have a wonderful guest with us. We have Miss Fatoumata Sy, who is currently Miss Africa USA First Princess. She'll be sharing her journey and everything that she has to share. Stay tuned with us.
The sun shines bright as it moves across my face. I feel the light and everything is in its place. Oh, I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me, and life is good the way it should, the way it was meant to be. And it's a beautiful day.
Welcome back. You're now watching Journey, and I am so excited about today's guest. We have the beautiful Miss Fatoumata Sy, currently Miss Africa 2015, First Princess. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Wonderful. I just love how beautiful you ladies are, and the crown is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations again on your title.
Thank you.
Now, you are Miss Africa, but you also represent a country in Africa, correctly? Correct? I'm sorry?
Guinea.
Guinea, right? So you were formerly Miss
Guinea North America.
Right.
2014, 2015.
Exactly. So you're holding so many titles, but before we get into that, let's go into who Fatoumata is. You know, where is she from? What do we, need to know about her? Originally, where are you from?
I'm originally from Guinea.
Okay.
I am 24 years old,
Okay.
major in broadcast and journalism.
Okay.
I am still in school, and I am just a fun girl that just love to have fun and help people.
Right. I can see that. We got a chance to talk before the show, and you are fun-loving. You said something that it's a little bit hard to believe. You said that you were the shy one in the family?
The shy one.
How is that?
Because everybody in my family is so outgoing.
Right.
Like, if you see me with my family, I am definitely the shy one.
Really?
I have a brother, both of them play soccer. My sister, who's just outspoken and, very friendly. My younger sister, she's the brain, the bookworm, the athlete.
Okay.
So, but I'm just the one in the corner.
No. Well, a very big corner.
A big corner, yeah.
So basically, but you are originally born in Guinea.
Guinea, yeah.
So you left at the age of
11.
So that means that you must remember some things about home.
I remember everything.
Oh, what do you remember?
The vibe, the food, and Guineans are very friendly.
Yes.
So I grew up in an environment where, the whole community raised you. Like, if my parents were at work and I do something I wasn't supposed to do, my aunts or people that I call my aunties or uncle would handle it till my parents came. So it was like a big family. So I really miss that about Guinea.
Oh, I can tell that you guys are very friendly because I get that vibe here. And I love to get into this because the world has their view on what they believe Africa to be. But every time you sit down with someone who's from Africa originally, you get such a different story. So what would you say stuck out the most as far as your upbringing in Guinea?
I would say people need to visit more
before
or like explore Africa, not just what they see on the media. Know what Africa is about. Growing up in Guinea, there's beautiful places because what I see on TV, I don't even know that part of Africa, like the huts and the animals. I'm like, I've never seen a lion in my life. Like, why are they only showing that?
Right.
And growing up in Guinea, we have beautiful, of course, every, country has its rich area. Every country has the poor area.
Right.
So I know that part, but there's beautiful houses, beautiful towns, and, peaceful, friendly, and I love it.
I love that you shared that with us. So for everyone that's watching, you hear Miss Fatoumata said that she's never even seen I have in captivity, at a zoo. But so that just goes to show you that Africa has so much more to offer. Yeah. Now, pageantry, even though you were the quiet one and you had your own corner, it's it runs in your family a little bit, right?
Right.
Your sister.
My older sister, she was the first Miss Guinea to represent at Miss Africa in 2007.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you know then that you would be here now?
When I watched her competing, I was like, I can't do that. Like,
really?
Just stand in front of people and dance or speak. I was, 13, 14?
Right.
I was like, that's not for me.
Right.
And, it's funny because she actually got me into doing pageant. Like, the first one we did was a small pageant called Queen of Africa. Okay. And, I didn't take that serious, and all I wanted was the People's Princess, which is based off a social media vote. Right. So I was like, oh, I got that. I'll get my followers to go like it. So I did it just because it was one of her friends that was having it, so it was just to show support. And when I didn't get that title, I was upset. I was like, wait, all these likes and stuff, what happened? Right. And then they made up some stories. I was like, it's okay. And my sister was like, no, it's not okay. Miss Guinea's in 2 weeks, so you're going to do it. I look at her like that pageant was August 9th of last year. And Miss Guinea was August 31st. I was like, you do know it's like 2 weeks away, right? She's like, no. She called the organizer. She was like, so they're cool. The organizer was like, it's kind of late, but okay, I'll let her in. Right. So when I did Miss Guinea, within 2 weeks, being prepared, writing something, it was home. It wasn't like all of Africa. So I knew what I was going to do. Okay. And, when I did my spoken word, when I won, I was like, oh my God, within 2 weeks I won. Like, I can't believe it. But, that's how I got into the pageant word. It wasn't something like, oh my God, I want to be a pageant queen. No.
Exactly.
It was just because I didn't get my people choice. That's how I ended up where I am today.
Which actually turned out to be something even greater and bigger. Right. So it worked out for you. And you mentioned spoken word, but we're going to take a quick break and talk about that a little bit because that's so special. Okay. So you guys stay with us. Today we have Miss Fatoumata in the building or in the studio. She's going to talk about her talents and what this experience means to her. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Journey. Today we have the first princess, Miss Fatoumata Sy, in the studio with us here today. So before we went to break, you mentioned spoken word. That was, I guess basically there's a talent portion of the pageant. So why did you choose spoken word?
Before I did Miss Guinea or getting into pageant, the year before that, my sister took me to watch Miss Guinea, but I didn't know that was all part of her plans. Okay. And I remember the queen that won before me, her name is also Fatoumata. Wow. When she spoke, like, I was feeling chills everywhere. I was just like, oh my goodness, I didn't know words can be so powerful. And I was like, how do you do that? I didn't know I have that capability in me. Right. And when I started writing it and then speaking it, like, presenting my spoken word, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Right, right. It's the effect. It's about how passionate you feel about it. It's about what you're truly feeling inside. And that's why I chose spoken words. I wanted the people to feel the joy, pain, or whatever I was feeling.
I love it. And I think that's how, you're known a lot for your poem, Mama Africa, Mama right? Africa, Tell us about that.
Mama Africa is basically, I say how great and beautiful Africa is, because before I did that, I remember when I won Miss Guinea, I knew that, like before I did Miss Guinea, my poem was called My Guinea, but I said it in my language, which is Mala Guinea. Okay. And as soon as I won Miss Guinea, on our ride back home, I told my sister, I'm going to call my poem for Miss Africa, Mama Africa. Right. She said, I love it. Yeah. And, it took me a while, like, before, like, I started writing it, then I'll change it, then I change it. And then one day I just sat there, like, I remember it was around March when I started doing all this research. Like, instead of focusing on my schoolwork, I was just literally there researching everything about Africa, from, like, you know, just great things that people don't know about, they don't put out there, like the oldest university being built by a woman, how, you know, math originated from Africa, or, you know, great people like Nelson Mandela, or, you know, Ahmed Sekou Touré, who was our first president. And, you know, I just wrote about that, and the more I write, the more inspired I was. And by the time I was done, the original poem was actually 6 minutes long. And Miss Africa, they were like, oh no, we only need 3. We only need 3 minutes. Right. So I had to cut it out. And, you know, I just love that poem.
That's too funny. A lot of people love that poem. Right now it's on circulation online, and a lot of people are talking about it. So thank you for, you know, digging deep inside and being brave enough to have people feel that way. Yeah. But so you win the Miss Guinea pageant, and then you go on to Miss Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that like, and what were you thinking at this point? Because now you're full-blown, no excuses, you're full-blown pageant girl.
Yeah.
Right.
At first, when I was going into Miss Guinea, I was very quiet and shy. But when I went to Miss Africa, most of the girls were telling me that I had the attitude like I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I was like, no, not really. It's just when I'm not gonna lie, I was prepared. Like I was a little bit too prepared, but you know, that's the training that I got from Miss Guinea. And my coordinator, it was all tough love. She wanted me to be my best at every segment. And Miss Guinea basically runs just like how Miss Africa is, beside one of the segment, which is called flag representation. We don't do that at Miss Guinea.
Okay.
So basically everything that I did at Miss Guinea was just a repetition. So it's like I felt like I was already prepared going into Miss Africa. So I was just like, okay, this will be fun.
Right, it was a breeze for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, winning the title of First Princess, explain that a little bit for us. What's the background on that?
The First Princess is basically when the queen is not available, she'll be the one to represent the queen.
Right.
And, you know, I get to do some event, and I still get to do my project, get some prizes.
Some prizes.
Yeah, so, which I love.
Right.
From lashes to jewelries, cash. And we also got to go to Trinidad for a week. So we really enjoyed it.
Exactly. And it's not like you're home sitting just stagnant. You actually accompany Miss Africa a lot. Where are a few meetings or events that you've been to?
We went to the World Bank meeting for the South Sudanese refugees.
Right.
And that was really great. You know, we were just on a panel with like great leaders. When people do their biography or present themselves, I'm like, wow.
Oh my goodness, right?
I'm sitting here with these people and I'm only 24. Oh my God.
Right.
Some people won't get to, you know, do it in a lifetime. So it's like, it's an honor to be at places like that.
And give us your view on that meeting itself, because that is something that the entire world is dealing with right now. Refugees. A lot of people have mixed feelings about it. So you said, you know, you're 24 and this is a table with, you know, people who are very experienced. What is your view on the situation?
First, it was very eye-opening.
Okay.
And it just took me back to when I was younger, because back in the 90s, there was a war in Sierra Leone, and most of the Sierra Leonean people came to Guinea. And, you know, I remember my dad opening like his houses, different houses that he had, to Sierra Leoneans that he didn't even know, and he welcomed them. So, you know, so from a young age, I was taught how to be nice, how to welcome people, because you never know when you're going to need somebody else. And those are the same people that when we came to America, they welcomed us too, because they came before us. And, you know, being on this table with these people, it was just amazing. And, you know, it's a wonderful feeling.
Right, and I love that you gave that analogy. I mean, your parents had their doors open when you were a younger girl, so of course your heart and your doors would want to be open for these refugees today. I love it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. All right, you guys, so don't change that dial. We'll be back with Journey. Welcome back. You're now watching Journey, and today we have with us Miss Fatoumata Sy, who currently holds the title as Miss Africa USA First Princess. One of the things I love about pageantry is the fact that you guys each have your own platform that's dear to you, and you get to work on that even further. What's your platform?
Early childhood education.
Wow.
Yeah, I chose that because in Guinea, private schools, they offer classes from pre-K. But the public schools start from the first grade, and it is not required for you, for the public school, it is not required for you to sign up. Like, you know, in America, by the age of 4 or 5, you have to be enrolled in school or earlier.
Right.
But in Guinea, you can see somebody who's like 13 in the first grade, don't know their alphabet, don't know the national language, which is French, or can't even count to 10. And, you know, some people don't see it as an issue, but I'm like, that is the reason why my country is behind. That is the reason why, you know, like, we're part of the top 10 with the least educated country in the world.
Right.
So, you know, all this take major effect on, it does a major effect on the country, and people are not realizing that. So my goal is to basically start from, you know, the neighborhood that I grew up in and continue in different, because Guinea is huge and there's mostly public schools because of poverty. And, you know, they need to enforce the fact that children needs to go to school. Like, it's not a want, it's something that needs to be done.
Okay. So with you said that you're taking a trip pretty soon to Guinea.
In the summer.
Right, in the summer. So is that something that you'll also be working on while you're there?
That's something that I will definitely be working on. And also, my mom worked with this women organization that empowered women's businesses. So I'll be doing that, and there's like a whole bunch of list of things that I have to accomplish, because based on Miss Guinea, the things that I was supposed to do, I still have to accomplish those.
Exactly, and another facet of it is that you'll actually be back home.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I'm so excited, because the last time I went was in like 2011.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see my dad, my grandmother especially. So I'm very excited
going to see family.
Yeah.
So that's going to be wonderful. And then when you go back as, you know, the first princess.
First princess.
So they have to, you know, royalty. They have to.
They are ready. Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So there's also something else. I don't want to say it incorrectly, but the is it Guinea Edugrade? Right.
Guinea Edugrade, yeah. It's a nonprofit organization that I've been part of. I'm their spokesperson, and we recently had a gala like last weekend, and I was their host. And it's a nonprofit organization that empower the youth to go to school, to be educated, and provide computer training for them.
Wow.
And, you know, for teenagers that haven't never been in school, they provide them with things they can do without education. Like, if you're good at designing clothes, like, train them how to be better, or offer scholarship, like, you know, things like that to help them create a better future.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're still, because a lot of people get overwhelmed sometimes by the responsibilities that you have to deal with. It is a heavy load for someone your age, you know what I mean? But I'm so excited for you. Yeah. Do you still feel like you get a chance to live that normal life, or is it just on the go? You have a lot of things to do and take care of, or?
A normal life? Well, ever since becoming the first princess, it has calmed down a little bit.
Okay.
So I do appreciate that, because it was a point of time, like, I remember when I first became Miss Guinea, after a month, I was like, I quit. I can't do this. It was always like on the go. Something is happening. My coordinator would literally wait 2 days before an event. You have to go somewhere. I'm like, what? My hair, my outfit. You can't do this to me. But now I actually have time. And, you know, what's so weird now is like that I get recognized. It's either from my social media, or there was a video that was posted by our trainer, Kyle, and that video went viral. So people are like, are you that girl? I'm like, If I look nice, I'd be like, yeah. If I look rough, I'm like,
no, it's not me.
No, it's not.
I know what you mean. So, I mean, being that basically in your downtime, you're still studying in school, right? And you're going for broadcasting. Communications.
Yes.
Is it the pageantry that made you want to go into that direction, or is this something that you just always had in yourself?
It's actually funny, because as soon as I realized that I wanted to be a comm major, that's when, like, couple of months later, that's when I started pageant.
Ah.
And it wasn't until like I won Miss Guinea, everything clicked to me like, oh my God, like this was meant for me. So that's how it happened. It was first my major, then pageant.
Exactly.
Like it was never planned. It just worked together.
Right. So are you working in it a little bit, bits and pieces now, or are you going
like
to wait?
I do a little bit of internship, like my school, if there is something, like a show that we have to host, or like, you know, little stories in the neighborhoods, we do stuff like that. I haven't gotten my big break yet.
Right. And I want to piece it together. Will you be the new, or are you striving to be the new face of Guinea when it comes to media?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, Guinea has so much to offer, and I feel like it needs to be put on the map. We have few people in there, I mean, here and there, like Katusha, she was like a supermodel in France, but she died, and you know, there's great things that happen in my country, and I feel like it needs to be on the map.
Of course.
So
And I agree with you. When it comes to Guinea, I think a lot of us are still, you know, we don't know exactly what that looks like, what that represents. So I'm excited that you're here because you can.
Sometimes when people hear Guinea, they're like, where's that?
Right.
Most people on guest islands, I'm like, no, we're in West Africa.
Yeah.
It's a small country in West Africa.
Right. So it's going to be up to you, Fatoumata,
it is up to me.
to make that picture very clear. Well, I love that. On that note, we're going to take another brief pause. Okay. So for everybody watching the show, I know you're excited and I know you love it, but you know that we definitely have to take a break. So stay tuned with us. We'll be right back with Journey. Welcome back to Journey. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I'm just going to jump right back into it. With Guinea, I know that we talked about a lot of disparities with education, but how's life for the women in Guinea? I mean, is it unequal, or is everybody just fighting at a fair life?
Oh, it's very unequal.
Okay.
In the government, there's mostly male figure. It's, you know, women are looked at as housewives, you know, sit home and cook, but there's women like my mom who's always has been about her business, and you know, and right now she's working on helping other women, you know, believe in themselves, because ever since she was 22, she was always traveling and then, you know, doing her own business, selling and then importing. Now she import and export between Africa and the United States. So, you know, she believes in stuff like that, but in Guinea itself, is very terrible how women are looked upon. Sit home, cook, and, you know, give birth. And it's a Muslim country, so, you know, they look at it as, you know, that's the culture. So, you know, but things will change in time.
And I mean, for the women who choose that, I think it's okay if you choose that life, but you want to have other options. You know, you want to know as a young girl, I have the choice to do this or to do that. Also, there are a lot of transformations as far as how fast Africa is progressing. Some people feel a modernized Africa is wonderful, and some people say, hey, hold on, you know, we love our traditions. Where are you? Which side do you fall on?
I'm on the modern side.
Really?
Because I feel like women can do so much. And, you know, I feel like we're the power to everything. I mean, of course, we see great men out there doing great things. But most of the time, like, I always took example of my mom. Like, my dad was always a wonderful man, like, you know, figure in the government, but it's because of my mom that he was there. It's because, like, my mom was supporting him. Well, that's how I look at it. But, you know, if we can support our men to be great, why can't we do it on our own? Why can't we be that public figure, you know, be represented well in the, so I'm more on the modern side.
And what do you believe about, because you came here at a pretty decent age to where you could still remember everything, right? 11 years old. There are a lot of, you know, some children that come here and kind of shed their traditions and kind of gravitate towards the American way of life, which is okay. But what do you feel about that?
I could even do that even if I wanted to.
Wow. Okay.
My mom didn't even bother to learn English. So at home was always either our dialect, so or French. So, you know, even my younger sister that was born here, she fully understands so, not even French, but she speaks the dialect. So, and I've always been proud to represent Guinea. Like, ever since I came here, because I remember when I first came, as soon as I said I'm from Africa, most people guess Nigeria. They'll people knew about Nigeria.
Right.
Like, that's something I always remember. But I was like, no, I'm from Guinea, and people's faces like, what is that?
Right.
So, and then, like, even when I was competing for Miss Africa, like, Guineans were just so supportive, and I was like, wow, I'm shocked.
Right.
But it was a great feeling. So, you know, I want to represent my country everywhere I go.
Exactly. And just to show how diverse and complex and beautiful the nation is, you were telling us about how it's one family, your family, one family, but there's several ethnicities.
Yeah.
Right. So tell us about that.
Well, like, my dad is actually, my last name is actually Senegalese.
Okay.
So, you know, people that are from Senegal, they think I'm Senegal. I'm like, no, I'm Guinea. I was born in Guinea.
Right.
My grandfather migrated to Guinea, and so my dad's side, he's like Senegalese and Mandingo, and my mom's side, she's Fulani and Soso. So it's like Mandingo, Soso, and Fulani, everything mixed in one. Yeah.
So when you guys are doing Thanksgiving, there's just so
you
many
just
different
hear
languages.
Yeah.
But it's all considered one.
Yeah, it's all
I
considered.
love it. So what do you take from this entire experience? What's the highlight? What's the thing that you just absolutely love the most about your experience?
As for Miss Africa?
Yes, as Miss Africa.
The sisters that I made.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
Right.
You know, when I did my first pageant, I didn't take that serious. When I did Miss Guinea, I was the queen, so I didn't know how the other girls felt. But when Frances won, I was like, oh, the spotlight is not on me. And then when we took the trip to Trinidad, we became close and then got to know each other. And I was like, okay, I have no reason to be bitter or anything like that, so let me support the queen. And, you know, that's what I basically learned from it. And I even told Frances, like, oh, for next year, I feel like the queen and the first princess, or her princesses, should go on a trip together and, you know, do something just so they'll be close and be supportive of each other. Hopefully that works out.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. And throughout this entire experience, because you guys get to meet a lot of affluential individuals, who's that one person that you're still kind of shocked or blown away that you got a chance to meet?
My president.
Your president. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
When I met him, I was like, oh my God. Like, I only see him on TV. Like,
Right.
so it felt like, you know, meeting somebody special.
Right.
So that was great.
Wonderful. Well, unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I love all the time that we did get a chance to sit down and talk with each other. So thank you so much, Ms. Fatoumata, for sitting with us.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely. And we look forward to everything that you have to accomplish and everything that you're going to do next year. And Guinea, you know, we wish you luck on that trip, but you have to visit us again, okay?
Definitely will.
Wonderful. Well, for everyone that's watching the show, we thank you so much for tuning in. Please continue to watch us as we bring wonderful guests and for you to view. Thank you so much, and you've just watched Journey.